Best clips ever.
Welcome to the University of Tennessee's new official talk show, where we talk about everything Knoxville, everything University of Tennessee, and everything Orange. I'm your host, Tara Thomas. I'm a new addition.
My name is Justin Crawford. Thank you very much, Tara. The four of our guests joining us here today are senior
Connor Thompson.
That's my name.
You should have a very special.
There it is. Yep.
Junior Zach Wooten, freshman Maria Smith, and also freshman Denicia Muncie. I keep wanting to say Munster, but I'm not going to say it.
Okay.
Obviously, the first thing we kind of have to talk about, I try to argue against it, but Valentine's Day is Saturday. So we want all of you to tell us your favorite Valentine's Day memory, but I want Justin to go first because apparently he has a holiday girlfriend.
Ooh. I'm going to talk a little bit about this. So when I was in the third grade, this was back in Japan, I had a little crush on this girl. She was a little Filipino girl, and the story behind it, she only wanted to be my holiday girlfriend. So Valentine's Day rolls around here in the third grade, and she was like, we were kind of talking. I was getting to know her and such. We're third graders, we did it. And she was like, the day after I gave her a box of chocolate and teddy bears, she put me to the side and dissed me out. She was like, you know what? I don't want this little boy anymore. So with that said, Christmas rolls around. She comes hollering at me again and was like, you know what? I believe Justin, hey, good looking. And I'm like, where'd you come from? And then, of course, Mom was like, she's your holiday girlfriend. You can choose to either buy her a gift so she can nip you again, or you can push her to the side. So with that, I'm honestly not really quite sure what happened after that.
Y'all still together today?
Yeah,
On Valentine's Day, Christmas.
Yeah.
But I think it's more that she skipped Halloween, Thanksgiving, like 4th
She might have
of
been hopping the other
July.
guys. I was one of the holidays.
She got you on the most important one. So Valentine's Day, I need a bae. Christmas, I
Most
need a
expensive gifts coming
bae.
out.
Why do you need one on Christmas?
You don't. You have Santa for that.
What would be a good
Yeah,
thing?
Santa is bae.
What would be a good like Thanksgiving present though? I wouldn't want to give a romantic.
Turkey?
That's when you cook
Yeah.
for something.
Yeah, give
Like
someone a raw
a
turkey,
what?
just like a raw turkey.
Santa is bae,
Yeah,
turkey
those
is
are
bae.
expensive.
Turkey is
but
bae.
that's clutch.
All right.
After
give
me, go
someone
ahead,
some-
guys, on what you, ladies first, what would
Favorite
y'all's...
Valentine's?
You going or I'm going?
Your name starts with a D, so let's go with that.
Okay. Danielle.
Well, my name starts with a C, so.
Connor!
Go
I'm just kidding, ladies first. That was a bad joke. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
What is it? I volunteer as tribute. Okay. My I guess best Valentine's Day memory. My senior year of high school, I was dating the student body president, and he got on the announcements every day. And Valentine's Day, I was late to school in the first place, so I barely got there on time. So he's just talking fundraising, and he was like, and today's Valentine's Day, and prom season's coming up. And I'm like, what the heck is he talking about? Like, are we doing a fundraiser?
Did you get asked to prom on Valentine's?
I did, but the way it went down was like, he was like, Valentine's Day, prom's coming up, so I'd like to ask Maria Danielle Smith, a.k.a. Chocolate Drop, if she'd like to go to prom with me. And, first thing that's running through my head is, who's Chocolate Drop? Never been called that, by him ever. And I was just like, okay. And then my teacher, everyone's looking at me like, yeah, are you going to go? And then my teacher makes it, the corniest thing ever. She's like, go get your man. And I'm like, And she was, forcing me to run, in the hallway and do, some officer and the gentleman type stuff, I love you, I will definitely go to prom with you. And in actuality, I'm just like, like making a weird noise.
Chocolate drop says no.
Did you go to prom?
with him?
Yeah, I did, but it just the whole day was awkward. It was a great surprise, but because I'm not used to surprises, I was just like,
You know, Chocolate Drop is Kevin Hart's rap name.
yeah.
Is that where he got it from? Have you
Yes.
heard that before?
No, I think the real question is, can we call you Chocolate
Yeah.
Drop? Like for the rest of your life?
Or can we call you Chalk Drop to like make it short and
Chalk
sweet?
Drop?
Because
Chocolate
chocolate,
Drop.
that's like way too long for a
C
nickname.
Drop? That's weird.
Oh, we'll
That's
talk
real
about it
weird.
later.
Yeah,
We'll move on.
or not. Okay.
Go ahead, Demiska.
I honestly don't have one. Like, I'm terrible at Valentine's Day. It's not my holiday.
Do you have a favorite time of year or favorite year where you was like had the best Valentine cards passed out in the classroom?
Oh, okay. So, y'all remember the guy Neve from Catfish, right?
Yeah.
I had the hugest crush on him like 2 years ago. I have no idea why. So my friend was like, I'm going to make everybody like homemade Valentine's Day cards. Who do you want on it? And I was like, surprise me. And next thing you know, the next morning in class, I get this huge card and his chest hair is cut out. And like he's placed on the front of the card and he's like, you're plumb perfect. And I was like, thanks. Yeah.
Who's Chester?
Did you like Instagram it? It's the guy from Catfish.
That was embarrassing, so no.
I thought that person from Catfish was made up though. Is that not the?
No,
The person
like
from-
like the host from it, right? That's what we're
Yeah.
talking about, Neve? Yeah.
Wait, the movie where the girl fakes being a girl? That's what we're talking about, right? Is that Catfish? The movie.
The
where
show as well. It's the
Wait,
same
what is
guy
the
who
show?
goes from
Sorry.
the- he
Yeah,
goes from
okay.
Catfish.
Never mind.
Anyway,
Honestly, didn't see it.
Yeah.
all right. I want to,
Okay,
make
so
it
my
easy.
favorite.
I wanna
Wait, sorry,
see
your name does start with a C. Would you like to go first?
Oh, no, go for it, man.
Okay, we'll go backwards alphabet.
It's okay.
So my favorite, I have a lot of Valentine's Day stories, I
We'll
guess.
choose one.
My probably most embarrassing one is, and this is debatable, but like in like the sixth grade.
Is this your first kiss story again? Because
No.
we've heard it.
No, that wasn't on Valentine's Day. No, okay, so anyway, so in like sixth grade, I had a huge crush on this girl that I did theater with, and so we would like always get the two like roles in the play where we were like lovers in the play and all
What's
stuff.
her name?
So that
I told you we got
Tara
selected for
Thomas.
this.
Tara Thomas, do you guys know her?
Oh man.
I'm kidding. I'm gonna keep it anonymous in case she watches this. So anyway, so we're always these roles, and so that just like heightens my love for her. Like I'm in like sixth grade, so I'm very like hormonal, like very like girl. So anyway, so I told my mom about this, and my mom is like, "Well, why don't you get her Valentine's Day present?" And like prior to this date, I've already gotten her a birthday present. Like she does not return this like mutual love for me that I return for her, and so I'm more or less like stalkerish at this point. So I've given her a birthday present already, and so then. My mom goes to the office, and like my mom's on my team for this, and we go in the office and get like her locker combination. So we go in her locker and put a bunch of like flowers and like cards and stuff in there. It's just like way too much. Like my mom's helping me do all this, and so apparently she goes in her locker and she like opens it. It just turns like bright red and won't tell anyone who it's from, like what happened to it. And then like I saw her later in the day and she says nothing about it. So I was like, and she was just like, and just like walked off. So it was pretty bad. So that's like my rejection one, and so that sucked.
That's really good.
And
Yeah.
I've been scarred ever since.
Well, forget her. Yeah.
OMG.
Well, I'm a little. I want to tell. He told his first kiss story. I'm gonna tell that instead of my Valentine's
Okay.
Day.
Okay.
Not very good. It's just romantic though. Just as romantic. So I was in sixth grade. No, I was in sixth grade. I was a little too young to kiss someone. I was in eighth grade, and I found this girl and I took her to a movie, and I
What
went to go
movie?
see Invincible. Remember that movie with Mark Wahlberg?
Yes.
Tried out for the.
Wait, that came out when
Jets.
you were in 8th grade?
Is that an odd thing or?
I just feel like that's a much more recent. Anyway.
Anyway,
That's neither here nor there.
yeah.
So
Besides
let's
that,
continue.
so that movie, if you guys have seen it, the whole point is him getting on the football team. But like 90% of the movie is him getting on the team. And so I thought, wow, when he finally got on the team, I was like, okay, I've been waiting for like an hour and a half to kiss this girl. I was really nervous. I did my arm, and I was really, really nervous about that. And so I looked at her, and she looked at me like this and put a stick of gum in her mouth and started chewing on it.
No.
And so I was like, oh, is that a cue to like not kiss her because she's chewing the gum now? Or should I kiss her because, like, she
She's
looked at me and,
flushing her breath.
I was like, I was so confused, just so confused. And so I was like, okay, well, now it's kind of time. So I looked at her and I said, 1, 2, then she goes, don't count.
Wait, you counted out loud?
Yes, because I was very nervous.
Did you use like your hands too? Like,
No, I said, okay, 1, 2, and 2, she goes, don't count. which is not what you want to hear when you're counting down to do something you've never done and dreamed about for about 4 or 5 years of adolescence. So I was about to kiss her, and she said, "Don't count." So then she just moved in, and I kissed her, and we goes, like a good 10-second, 30-second kiss somewhere between there, and then we stopped, and I was like, "Man, I cannot wait to do that again." I was really excited.
Did you count this time?
Well, see, I was about to kiss her again, and then the movie ends because the movie ends after his first game playing the sport. So I waited like an hour and a half of him. Like I was like, okay, I can't wait. I told myself I'm not going to kiss her until he makes the football team, and that's the last 10 minutes of the movie. So once we had football team, I counted down, and it was not a good first kiss. So
So you
happy
guys,
Valentine's Day, right?
you guys like celebrated his getting on the team together. Like, oh my God, he made it. I'm
Yeah.
gonna kiss
Let
you.
me pop some gum in my mouth and confuse you a little bit more, and then you can count down, and I can
3,
reject
2.
you. Yeah. So,
Like,
good story.
but congratulations to him.
Well,
getting
yeah,
on the
right?
team.
Yeah, he killed it.
Apparently Knoxville's doing a lot better than you because it was voted or named most romantic city in the United States by Amazon.com. Did you guys know this?
No.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't believe it.
They compiled the
Yeah.
list based on their sales of products like romance novels, relationship books, romantic comedy movies. Knoxville was able to beat out cities like Las Vegas, Miami, and Orlando, which I feel like isn't that big of a deal because I think Las Vegas, nobody's really in love, or Miami. So.
Las Vegas is where people go to get married for a day and then
You're
get
right.
divorced next
Yeah.
week.
That's
Like,
But if you look, number 10 is Murfreesboro, Tennessee. So I was like, I don't know how happy we should really be about these number
so is
one.
Nashville anywhere on
Yeah,
there?
that's
Because
funny.
that's like,
Nashville?
yeah. I mean, not that it's just like the city of love, but you know.
I love that city. So
Oh yeah, no, it's actually really sad because it's based upon the most like buying self-help books, like How to Find Love, like Act Like a Lady, Think Like a Man, you know.
Does
Oh
that
my
make us
goodness.
romantic or lonely?
Right.
Right. I like hopeful romantics, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Way to go, Knox.
I just,
Are any of you guys gonna go see 50 Shades of Grey on Valentine's Day?
is it bad that I'm afraid of that movie?
Well, no, you should all be.
Make
You
us
should
Okay.
not gonna see it for Valentine's Day.
Like,
But are you guys gonna do it? Like,
I'm gonna skip out on that
No.
one.
we're gonna talk about it.
no.
Well, it's actually, they dress up for Harry Potter premieres. I always wanted to kind of dress up in bondage stuff, kind of show up at midnight on Valentine's Day, see if anyone else is.
Just get out there and be like, whoosh,
Yeah,
I'm
right?
ready.
No.
He's gonna get
That
arrested.
Oh, man. Well,
Just get your whips and your chains and be like, who wants to see this
Thank you.
movie?
yeah,
Like,
that'd be fun. Meet some interesting people for sure.
It's like sold out.
Oh,
yeah.
well.
Well, people are gonna go on Valentine's Day.
Yeah, people, but I think that's so weird to go on Valentine's Day.
It's like
What?
really weird.
I can't
Yeah.
think. I feel like I'm trying to decide because I was thinking about this the other day. Like if it would be couples that would go, or for people that were single that would go.
That's why I think it's gonna be groups of older divorcees, and then probably like younger couples, maybe.
Well, You think couples would go? Though?
It's just
That's what I thought, but I was like, I don't know. Maybe if the girl
I
wants to see
weighed
it
this
bad
out in my
enough.
mind.
yeah.
Or maybe if one party of the couple kind of wants the other couple to do that, and they're like, hey,
Yeah.
let's go check this out, and then
Hey.
kind of gauge how they thought about it, kind of test the waters.
Maybe that'll be like their outlet. Like, okay, we've been wanting to try this. Let's go see this movie. Like, we're gonna just, this is the stepping stone to being some freaking nasty people.
All right.
I've never
Well,
that way, but
Oh, man.
let's move on from 50 Shades of Grey.
You brought it up.
I know,
Right,
but
I'm
I was
just
like, I
saying.
was asking if you guys are gonna see it, but
No.
Wait, are you gonna see it?
Yes, she is.
I'll wait for it to come out on like Netflix or something. I think one would be a very uncomfortable movie to watch when you have people next to you because it's all sold out. So it's like you have like a stranger sitting next to you
Yes.
eating popcorn.
I feel like it's gonna be
Apparently
like
it's really graphic.
a
I
lot of
literally have
middle-aged
so many
women.
jokes in my head that I can't say right now. So move before I slip.
Well, I don't know if you guys know that a couple from UTK, they're alumni, and they made.
It's over there.
Where is
It's on the
it?
ground right there.
Oh, I was like, where is it? They made a dry erase
sweet.
version of The Rock,
Oh, look at
right?
that.
Isn't it cute? And then you can like dry it and
it
erase
says
it.
the UT Rock college replicas.
So I don't know if you guys knew about that. That's really exciting. What are you writing on it?
I'm gonna be a little creative today.
$20 says you're putting VolTalk on it. But
Wow.
we're gonna let you guys get creative this time, and that's why you have the markers and the paper in front of you. The biggest football game in UT history needs our help. The game being held in Bristol against Virginia Tech in 2016 is looking for a design for the trophy. I think they should have like committees that do this, but
Wait,
anyway.
so
The trophy has a few requirements that must be followed by the winner, but he receives a trip to the 2015 Irwin Tools Night Race, the unveiling of their trophy, and the game in 2016. From now until March 6th, you can submit 3 renderings of what you think the trophy should look like. Must include the Bob logo, a football, and an object representing Bristol Motor Speedway.
Bob logo
So-
being like B-O-B.
like we literally
Bob?
write Bob
B-O-B.
and then a
Yeah, So
football.
incorporate that.
And then
Yeah,
whatever the
incorporate
Bristol
football.
Motor Speedway object representing that would be.
So we could put like a car with Bob on top of it and a football.
The-
Who's Bob?
Oh, yeah, that.
Yeah, so it has to look like
Does
that.
Bob, does Bob character work?
Basically, just like that, but we want a 3D version. You use
A little thing right there.
B-A-B.
So bad.
Oh,
So
Bab.
that's at Bristol logo.
So bad.
And then a
That
football.
Yeah.
Okay, so it has to have that logo.
It has to have this logo and then
Someone's drawing it.
an object representing the Bristol Motor Speedway and a football. So you guys draw what you think it should look like really quick. We're going to give you like
60 seconds. Go.
60
got
seconds.
Okay.
Cue the music. Oh, we got music.
I'm still so confused.
Oh shoot, this looks like a wine glass.
There we go. That makes it
I'm
cooler.
liking it.
Gives it the dramatic effect.
Glass of wine. Remember, you gotta incorporate B-A-B somewhere.
You guys didn't even ask me what my favorite. Oh, as soon as the music ends, you have to show it, whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
Are we gonna vote? Does like the winner get something?
I feel like one of you guys deserve to
You know, my favorite Valentine's Day memory was when my mom used to buy me candy.
Is that
You know
it?
what I mean?
Yeah, do
Was
we
I the only
stop?
one that happened to?
That
Yeah.
it?
Let me see what you got.
Maria, okay, I'm seeing
I
success.
feel like you just gonna say B-A-B on one of your favorites.
Hi, I got this.
That's okay.
It's a car with a football in it, and it says I did some calligraphy, some Bab like sorority girl like on the cup and stuff.
Beautiful. It's like embroidered.
And then I just assumed that we're gonna win, so UT.
Demi, what you got?
Y'all are gonna be so disappointed, but
Hashtag go balls. I like it. That's my
That's all you
vote.
need.
Like
Bab.
you cheated, but let me see it.
Okay, I was just Ellen, my husband. So I did a combination of Valentine's Day and the trophy in one. And so
Fancy.
this says 50 Shades of BAB. And it has some hard center football on it. So.
Beautiful. And did you do the exact same thing? Did he steal that idea from you?
No, I actually didn't understand what Bab was, so I incorporated
Battle
that.
at Bristol.
I know, but you said Bob, so I got both of them.
Good, just in
And
case.
the football and the actual prize is the race car from Bristol.
Well, that's-
So we got a race car with Bab, Bob, football, and the winners can be written in there later.
y'all
Today.
did
So
so
it's
much.
not a real trophy. It's just the car.
Well, the car is a
Like,
trophy.
they get the actual car.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, well, y'all got
So it's
until
not a
about
trophy.
March.
Yeah, no, well, okay, yeah, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Got until about March 6th to get that
Yeah,
idea
you
perfect.
might want to fix
Hopefully,
it.
I'll get something.
I think
So if
Demi's
y'all haven't
gonna
heard,
win.
Chris Barrett is becoming a YouTube local sensation.
I don't know who that
I don't know either. We're about to find out.
is.
He had a
Okay.
recent video go viral. It was a part of his. Have you guys heard of the pay with lovin' going on at McDonald's, where you can have your meal taken care of if you show love?
Yes, I don't
kinda
believe
have.
it.
Like,
Well,
call
I've
your
heard
mom
about
and
it,
tell
not
her
too
you
much.
love her or
Yeah.
something. I thought-
Right.
I don't believe
Can you
it.
explain how that works?
Somebody go do that.
Okay, so what I saw on the commercial was he goes, he tells him, like, he orders whatever he wants, and he's like, actually, do you have your phone on you? And he's like, yeah. He's like, call your mom and tell her you love her. And he's just like, what? I don't even like my mom. We're not speaking. No, I don't know. That happened. That's what I would imagine would happen.
The
I think that'd
McDonald's
be really
attendant
funny.
told the customer to call his mom.
Yeah, and
Okay.
so he does, and I'm pretty sure that's how he gets his food. I didn't finish the
so you
commercial
did-
because I got to skip
Got
by
too
that
bored.
point. I was on Pandora and then could skip by then, so I was like, I don't care. I don't go to
Right.
McDonald's.
It's kind of, it reminds me of those Special K commercials. It's like, or the Dove, and it's like, do you want a makeover? And they're like, here you go, and they give them a bar of soap, and they're like, it's soap. Like,
Yeah, but we have the video of what he did, I guess, as part of Pay with Love. What is it?
Paying at
Paying
McDonald's
with
with some
lovin'.
love.
I think it's
You can get your meal for free if you dance or if you do anything. If you dance, I'll give it for free.
For free.
The story behind that, I guess we could have given to you before we played the video, was that he was bullied. He's bisexual, so he's bullied a lot in like high school, and now so that's kind of his way of saying like "F you" to the haters, like the bullies.
Yeah, no one would bully him for that.
Yeah.
Not at all.
I think it was supposed to be a
but he was
nice
showing.
thing.
Wait, you're supposed to show love, and that's what he did.
I
guess he
Yeah.
heard about this Pain with Love act and then wanted to incorporate his own
So that was
his
his
own kind of
version
love.
of
I mean, I guess it's his own kind
He's
of love.
showing love.
He is showing love. I mean,
Kinda.
I liked
To be
it.
honest with
Some
you,
crazy love.
it made me think of like the women in black churches when they get happy and
my
like
God.
catch the spirit and they're just like, oh my gosh, like yes, like that's what it made me think of because he's just like the wig flies off and everything. If they're old enough, it's not secure. Whoop. Like that's what it made me think of. I mean, I'm good for him for
Right.
getting free food and like he's happy, live
Right.
your life. But that's all honestly, that's what it made me think of.
Yeah, well, with talking about people who are getting out there and expressing themselves and making sure their voices are heard, we have a young lady who is actually a student here on campus. She's only a sophomore. She goes around and takes pictures of just random people and expresses their acts or expresses their stories throughout questions that she gives them. And her video is called Humans of UTK, or her, I guess it's like a personal organization. It's become really popular here on campus. Everybody has followed the Facebook page, liked it. I'm sure it has an Instagram
luckily we have her
page.
to talk about it. And not
You're right. She's going to come in and talk about it.
But it's just kind of our first part in what we're going to try to do and showcase organizations around campus and
Right.
positive things that students are doing.
So here's a little video to show you guys a little bit about what she does.
Be completely natural. Perfect. Just like that.
My name is Caroline Knight, and I am the photographer behind Humans of UTK. What started as a way to get out of writing articles in my journalism class quickly turned into something much more meaningful. Every day, I walk around campus looking for people that strike my interest. I start by taking their photo, and then I ask questions that sometimes result in really powerful messages. One of the biggest things I've learned is that it's really easy to think that our individual voices aren't heard, especially on a campus this size. But it's just a matter of taking time to listen that could mean the world to someone. All I hope to accomplish through this project is to leave this place much better than when I found it.
So as you can tell from the video, this is Caroline Knight. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, of
obviously. You said in the video that it started as just a way to get out of your journalism assignments.
Yeah, to be honest, it's kind of a lazy thing, but I actually really didn't want to write articles in my journalism class, and I knew I was really interested in photography. So I figured, photojournalism, like I can make this a photojournalistic blog, I guess. And so I just pitched it to my teacher, and he said, yeah, that's a great idea. And every day I would come into class, he'd be like, all right, submit your blog entry. And everyone was like, hunched over like a keyboard writing their articles. And I was like, all right, well, I met some like super cool people this week. I don't know about you guys, but.
Hey, but you're getting more out of it than a lot of people usually would, huh?
Yeah, absolutely.
It is so successful.
I
It
know.
really is.
Yeah, and I don't know. I just didn't think that like an assignment would like turn into something so
Yeah.
much bigger than really.
Good for you.
Just a
That is-
grade, so.
Yeah, that's very inspirational for sure.
Yeah.
So, you did say you got into it in that way, but who do you choose to interview? Like, how do you go out and be like, you know what, I want to see this person, or I want to take a picture of that person? Because there's so many people here on campus.
Yeah,
you know?
no, you're right. And it's actually really hard to choose some days, but some days they kind of choose you.
Right.
For example, I think the most recent post I have, I was just waiting at a crosswalk, and this kid just struck a conversation with me. He was like, "Oh, it's a really nice day out," and I was like, "Yeah, it is." And I could tell the people around us kind of were like kind of freaked out, like, why is this guy talking
Talking to her randomly.
Yeah, and no one really kind of like stops and realizes like, hey, it's okay if you have a pleasant conversation with someone. Like, he probably just likes talking to people. And so we were just, I don't know, I had never met this guy before, and we just met at a crosswalk. And so we're just walking, and I'm asking him about his classes, and I'm like, sorry, can I stop you right there? I'm like, can I take your picture? He's like, yeah. I'm like, well, okay, I guess I'll explain why I'm asking you to take your picture. And he was like really cool with it, and we like snapped the picture real quick, and I walked him to class, and he was actually like he wants to be a video game programmer.
Right.
And so we just we had a really interesting conversation about how, you just don't think about how like video game programmers are actually creative people. And so, yeah, it's just, you just get all different kinds of perspectives, you know, just like meeting random people. But
Gotcha.
outside of them finding me,
Right.
you know, if someone seems like they're, you know, like they kind of don't look the same as everyone, or if they look particularly sad or happy, you know, like I want to know more. Like I want to know like what's
reason
going
behind
on.
them,
Yeah. Yeah, so
That
that's
is
kind of
awesome.
how I choose who I pick. But yeah.
How many? Do you even have like a number of how many you've done now, or is it just kind of like can't even keep track anymore?
Yeah, I've kind of lost track, but I know I haven't done too many, but I'm definitely not like keeping count or anything like that. But it's definitely getting up there to where it's like, you know, you go to the page and there's actually like a ton of things to look at, and so I was actually really nervous. I was kind of debating whether I should start the blog with just one picture, but it actually I think it kind of helped me because I didn't want to start a blog and just like have one picture, but I guess as I'm building up on it, it's kind of getting more momentum, and it's just been great to like see, you know, people's responses and reactions.
Good
like,
for you.
Yeah, and so I hope I made the right decision by like just
You
starting
did.
it
Do you
with
plan on
one.
pursuing any further like
Oh yeah,
career in this?
of
Maybe
course.
turning into something more than what it has been in college.
Yeah, I mean, I think I kind of give it like goals, and there's, you know, like I didn't want to start out with just like all these different pages, like with Instagram or Facebook or Twitter, you know, and so I just started on Facebook, and then once we reached like 2,000 likes, I was like, all right, I guess we'll expand this a little bit more. So I made an Instagram, but I've actually, you know, I kind of like to think of like really far in advance, and so I've been thinking like, you know, once I graduate, I really want this to keep going because it's such a good thing for like this little community that we have.
It is.
And so I was thinking, I was like, all right, well, I need to like figure out like my predecessor. Like I need to like put out a status like, all right, who wants to be
Hire
my
an
intern?
assistant.
Yeah. And so I think I might spend some time like thinking about like how I want to keep it going.
There you
know?
go. Even get some multiple photographers so you can kind of sit back and watch them do it a little bit, right?
And that's actually a really good idea because, you know, like when it's just me, I feel like I have a lot of bias, and it's like really hard to like get rid of that bias and like who you choose. So I think maybe introducing a new photographer on board if they're good enough, you know, but they have to prove themselves. But if I have another photographer on board, that would be amazing to like expand, you know, my availability on campus.
For sure. Well, you have our support as far as you being successful with this, for sure.
How
Thank you.
long, like, how long every day do you spend? Is it kind of like when you find people, do you have like a dedicated amount of time that you spend, or just go with it?
Yeah, I kind of just roll with it. I'm not really a routinely person, and so I really love just like not having a schedule. And so, you know, with my classes, it kind of limits me to where I can go on campus. But at first, I didn't think it was going to be that time consuming. And I guess the really ironic thing about choosing not to do the articles was that it took me so much more time and so much more effort to like get these pictures out and like transcribe the quotes and like pick which one so like it ended up being really hard, but it is time consuming. But I think the more I've been doing it, the more like, you know, I guess better and quicker I've been able to do it.
So if you saw me and Tara walking down a pedestrian walkway, which one would you choose?
Yeah. Really?
To take a
funny.
picture.
You don't want to embarrass you. We all know she would choose me. You're going to have like people following you around looking really sad, looking really happy.
Yeah.
Look at me, I'm picking up trash. I didn't even put this on
My
the
community
ground.
service for Lamont.
Yeah. No, it's funny because I'll be standing with my friends, and there will be one person that like they don't know me and they don't really know like what I do, and which is fine. Like I tried to keep it like on the down low for a little bit, but my buddy introduced me. She was like, "Oh yeah, this is Caroline. She does Humans of UTK," and I was like, "No." And then she was like, "Wait, you don't know me? You don't know me?" And I was like, "Wait, why?" And she was like, I know that you have to do it anonymously, so I didn't meet you." And then she like ran away, and I was like, "Man, I guess I might ask her a question in the future or something." I don't know, but yeah, I do try to keep it anonymous in like who I choose. But I did, you know, to get things going, I did ask like the very first post I did was like a good friend of mine, and so just to like you know, I didn't, because it was like a practice round, and so.
Right.
Like get your questions right, what you want to know.
Yeah.
Do you have like a certain favorite one? I mean, obviously you love all of them, but do you have one that's just?
I think my favorite one was either, oh man, this is hard because I love all of them. Like, no, okay, I think my favorite one is Redbird. He is the homeless man that I talked to. He was sitting on a bench outside of Hodges, and I just walked up to him. You know, there was like a huge like fundraiser going on outside on Pedestrian, and so I came up to him. I was like, "Hey, can I ask you a few questions? Like, how's your day going?" And he was like, "It's good, it's good." And he just seemed a little like down, and so I don't know. We just started talking, and I probably sat on that bench with him for about an hour, and we just talked and talked and talked, and about, you know, his life and my life, and we actually have a lot in common, which you probably wouldn't guess, like just looking at us, the two of us sitting on a bench, you'd probably be like, oh wow, they're best friends, but I mean, we're not, but I don't know, we just really connected, and it was strange and wonderful, but definitely don't regret that at all. I still, like, he still sells newspapers on that corner.
Wow.
And so, you know, I pass him like, hey, what's up, Red? And he's like, hey, Caroline, and we're just like friends,
awesome.
and sometimes we, you know, like if I have time between classes, I'll like stop and catch up with him.
Right. You seriously make my heart so happy, Caroline. Like, it is awesome.
Yeah, I think it's truly incredible what you do, and you kind of get to show. It's something really refreshing, I think, especially now with people that don't, like you said, like having a friendly conversation with people,
Exactly.
and everybody's just on their phones, and so.
Oh yeah, and you know, I've had plenty of conversations, especially with like I think the older people like that I approach. They're always like, these kids, you know, always they're just staring at their phones. They don't like hardly ever look up, and
Exactly. Well, Caroline, thank you so much for being with us.
Yeah, of course.
So while Caroline documents a little bit of what is potential history for here on campus, we have some of our correspondents went out and asked a couple people on Pedestrian Walkway if they really knew some history here on campus or some even fun facts.
Yeah.
Do you know your UT history? Hi, I'm Maria.
I'm Rachel.
And I'm Michaela.
And this is Ball on the Street. Today, on this Big Flurry Monday, we're asking some Voltastic volunteers a few questions about UT's history.
Let's get started.
Woo!
Can you sing the full Rocky Top song?
No.
Sorry. Thank you.
Who is Jimmy Cheek?
I don't want to answer that. I got so many news for him.
It needs the stadium season.
The post.
2004.
Well, I was
What is a UT tradition that every student should do before they graduate?
Go to a football game.
Another one. How did we choose Smokey as our official mascot?
The man who founded the school had a blue tick hound named Smoke. Oh,
Exactly.
Josh Dobbs, number.
Oh, you know it.
I don't know it. I don't remember it.
Halfway right.
Go to a frat party.
No. It's
no, dude, I didn't like the song that much.
Bryant.
Sorry.
You're right on it. Dwayne Johnson.
What? Wait.
It's a big thing. You're right on it.
Oh, I thought you said right. Oh, Paint the Rock.
Yeah! Woo!
Cool.
I think Rachel was like giving oranges out to people that got it right.
I really hope so.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Why don't you show them what you did?
Guys, I finished this, my little masterpiece. So the UT Rock College of College replicas, get one of these if you don't have one. But I did put Go Vols with an orange, and since you said to mention VolTalk, it's on there. So this could be kind of our little trophy together.
Yeah.
But guys, that's all the time we have for today. So tune in next week for a little bit
little bit of Mardi Gras kind of feel that's going to be our little episode for next week. And also tune in to have a little bit from our special guest from the CLS office, the Center for Leadership and Service.
And if you don't know what that is, then obviously watching you'll find out.
You need to get out a little bit more.
But that's all we have, so we'll see you next week. It's been real.
It's been fun. It's been Real Talk.